Hello, I'm Sam, aka Sellerman Sam. I've been behind the camera for the last 12 months, but I wanted to make a new series of films where I'm asking specific questions. The big question, the first one, you speak to my kids, they'll tell you cows eat grass. Speak to their friends, they'll tell you cows eat grass. But do cows just eat grass, really? Or do they eat other things? I'm going to find out what do cows eat.
It's a beautiful day in October, and amazingly still, even in October, we've still had very little rainfall. We haven't got the really hot days, but they're still dry days. Oh, that's nice. Someone's left their empty can of Pringles here. Probably so high from all the MSG in it, they never thought of picking it up. We'll get that on the way back. The cows go out after milking, and we'll have a paddock ready for them. Once upon a time, this stuff, what the cow's eating here, would have just been grass, but now we've got all sorts of different plants growing. Look, you've got plantain, you've also got clover, white flower clover there. It naturally puts nitrogen back into the soil, so it takes nitrogen from the atmosphere and it puts it back into the soil, which then helps feed the grass, which is nitrogen hungry. Having that diverse sort of mix of different species of plant, traditionally there would have been what we've got here. You know, at some point we started to realise that, you know, bagged fertiliser, if you put it down on the grass, it grows, you know, makes the grass grow more. And to begin with, like anything, it was probably quite cheap. So you've got two sort of things which start this vicious circle off. So you've got pesticides, sprays with grassland, and chemical fertiliser. You know, the animal doesn't eat dock leaves very much, doesn't eat thistles, it doesn't eat nettles. So like, why do you want those things in your paddocks? So you spray it off, it dies, and it doesn't come back again. But then what you don't see is it also kills off all of the other plants, what the cows do eat. All of those things play a part in this, making this paddock quite diverse in different plant species. They all complement each other. You see the cow in the field eating grass, and you just think, well, she's just mowing away. But actually, what they do is, if you watch them really closely, they're very sensitive with their noses. So they're really looking for sweet stuff. So that's a bit of dandelion, what just went in there. Yeah, definitely dandelion. Here comes Sean. He's just gone to move the fence. He's driving the old 1970s truck. Like, Sean doesn't change gear, so look, he's still in first gear. He's driving that at about 45 miles an hour in first gear. Look at the smoke coming up. We're recycling, so the truck is got no MOT on it, and you know, that would be put in a scrap yard and got away with, but as opposed to buying a new one, still reusing it. Because you think the cow eats grass, you let it out on a field and it eats grass and then it gives milk. But it's much more complicated than that, because you don't get grass grow all year round. So therefore, you have to, as a farmer, you have to preserve grass foods in the summertime and feed it to the cows in the winter. And that's where things like hay and silages come in. This is grass, but it's not grass, it's now silage. You cut the grass, you bring it back to the farm, you put it into a concrete bunker, you push it down really tight till all of the oxygen's left it. And then what happens, this little magical thing happens, is that lactic bacteria, so the stuff what makes cheese, the same stuff. And as soon as it gets the right conditions, warm and wet, it starts multiplying and does exactly the same thing. It creates acid, and the acid preserves the plant. And then along with that, you've got chopped straw, chopped hay. Straw has got very low energy content. You know, eat a mouthful of this and you're not going to like give a lot of milk if you're a cow. But it does work very well in the rumen. So cow has 4 stomachs. The main stomach, which is the rumen, when straw goes in, the rumen takes longer to break that down. The effect of straw has a positive thing on butterfat. So butterfat tends to be increased when the food, what passes through the animal, slows down. And then here we've got maize plant. So in the east, one of the plants what grows really well is maize. It's a deep-rooted plant and it does grow well. So it's something which we're questioning about not using in the future. But until we find a good alternative, it's a struggle right now to come away from maize. This is what they're eating in the winter months. And all we do is we mix all this stuff together. Now, one of the things what the silages in the wintertime lack, which the grass does have, is the energy levels. So you have to replace that to get the cows to milk well. We replace that with things such as rolled wheat. So there's a piece of rolled wheat, rapeseed extracts, and those kind of things putting back into this food along with the silage then creates a really good food for cows to milk from. Like the diversity, the flavors of the cheese and all of that, the uniqueness from the cheese comes from the uniqueness of the animal and the uniqueness of the soil and the plants what grow in that. It's all small stuff, but when you add it together, it's huge.